Another thing I want to talk about before I start stabbing parts together is the importance of checking your flywheel or flex plate to make sure that the studs on the converter fit that hole. Ask me how I know. You can end up with big problems. So that is just a little quick tech tip, because that hole has to be able to allow that stud to go through it. Now, some manufacturers have bolts that go through. It's still a wise decision to make sure that the converter bolt itself will go through that hole, because the last thing that you want to have happen is get the engine in the vehicle and then realize you can't get the converter bolts in, or it's being hung up on the studs.
Well, guys, it is Monday morning, 5:30 a.m. I get up. I got me a cup of coffee, sat and watched a little bit of Unity Motorsports with Andy, seen what he was doing with old Casper. I think it may have been an older video. He may have a newer one out now. But I go out to the shop after I get my coffee, head out. Yeah, it's still dark outside. Like I say, it's 5:30 a.m. And I go out and I do a little tinkering. And I'll try to get me another cup of coffee in here in just a minute. And anyway, I got to looking at the car. I decided I'd go ahead and try to put a tire and wheel on. And went over here and found a couple that was mounted but hadn't been grooved for dirt track racing yet. These are a Hoosier, I think they're 30-45s, and they're asphalt circle track tires, 27 by 10s, and on 10-inch wheels, 4-inch back spacing. And I go over here and get me a couple of lug nuts, put on this thing just to hold it on. And yeah, I think it's gonna look pretty good. I'd put drag slicks on this thing if I had them, but I think these will do just fine for no more motor than I have. I think that's plenty to take care of old Big Block 402. I think it's way more than enough to outrun old Bear Road's garage. And I got another call out the other day. I believe it was yesterday. RC Industry, I believe that's who it was, mentioned that he might want to line up against this old Stockcar. Yeah, if he's bringing the old crusty Chrysler, I don't think there'll be a problem there either. I don't care what size motor he's got. Oh me. Well, I'm just having a little fun here, guys. But now we're gonna try to see what this thing looks like and do a little bit of work on it. Got us a Chicago pneumatic 3/16 air hydraulic rivet gun. We had one of these once before, but it broke. We used a fire out of it. The other one we've been using is mainly built for heavy duty rivets. This is actually a friend of mine's. I borrowed it many years ago, and then he moved to Texas. If he still needs it, if he's watching, contact me. I'll figure out some way of getting it to you. But he moved to Texas before I could get it back to him. But I've still got it. It's still here. But that one works fine. It just, you got to pull the trigger quite a few times on it because it's got a short pull because it's a heavy duty. And this one here, Matthew picked this one up yesterday. Matthew and Thomas went by Harbor Freight apparently. I come in the shop this morning and was working around and found this in here. Thought I'd throw it in on the video. So these things are nice to have if you're doing pop rivets. And I'm gonna tell you, them hand rivet guns are for the birds. I don't know if I necessarily need that right there, but or this rivet nail catcher either. But got it, might as well put it on. So we can get us a little piece of Teflon here. Now, if you don't know how to put Teflon tape on, run over to Big Block 402's latest video of him putting a temperature sensor in his transmission pan, and he'll show you the proper way of doing it, putting Teflon tape on. Says oil daily. That's every day that you remember to do it. That's what that's for. Okay, there it is. Remember guys, these are called rivets with a V, not a B, not rivets. But you can call it a rivet too, that don't matter to me. We may get laughed off the track when we show up at No Name Nationals. But one thing about it, hey, we can say we're the only ones there with a Camaro Stockcar. We coming to Sykeston, y'all. Whether y'all believe it or not, y'all think this car ain't gonna get done. We're gonna show you that it will. Cause I need it done too. I've got other projects to get on. Y'all believe that? I got a red Ford dually sitting out back that I've got parts for that I got to get to going. Thought I'd take y'all along here for just a second. Show y'all what we do. I've been doing all sorts of different type of videos. Thought this morning we'd jump in here and just do just a little bit. Got up early this morning, couldn't sleep. Y'all know how that is? When you can't sleep. I think that's a 3/16. Can y'all see? Can y'all see if that's a 3/16 drill bit? I can't tell. My eyes. Hey, it looks good enough to me. I don't have my eyes on this morning. Let me see. See if I can get me a hole popped in here real quick. Okay. Let me put one on this side. I'm gonna have to have it over here anyway. Okay, we got it in there. Tell me what I did with that rivet gun. Found it. Y'all settle down. How about that? 2 pulls. That's more like it on a steel rivet. There it is. I told you. Rivet. All right, guys. I have got to go see Greer Racing Parts and Fuel again. We are going to get some braided fuel line. Let me tell y'all something, guys. Don't try to cheap out and run a solid line like this. Let me tell you what to do with that. Throw it somewhere else. Go get you some braided fuel line, because I'm going to tell you, you see this right here? I got just a little bit of brass fittings right here. I got some more over here, some more in here. I think I've got about 80 bucks tied up in brass fittings, and I still don't have enough to hook this up. Well, guess what? I can get a complete black braided fuel line for this car with fittings for $90. So, hey. Got to think. Now I'm going to have about $160 in my fuel line. You say, 160, how's that? Because I've spent all this other trying to make that work. And now I'm going to buy something that's going to work. Anybody need any brass fittings? Give me a holler. I got it on sale today. I got to try to make some of this money back. But anyway, I got to go back down there, get some of that. Got to get some shifter linkages. I got to get under the car and measure that out. We did take and get one of our, this is the screw-in fitting style right here. We got that put in. I've kind of looped it around right here so that it's out of the way. It's under here. It's not going to rub the A-arm or none of that stuff. I've still got to get my return line shortened up. You see as it goes, I can get my tripod around here. It goes right there as return line. My feed line is under there. I'm gonna have to go with something different there so that I can come in and feed my power steering. And then I've got to get a fitting to go in here to feed my return line. So, all right. Now you see where we're at. We're getting close. Waiting on oil. I got to get an oil filter, which I'm going to get a Wix racing filter for it. Got to get that. A set of header gaskets. Prime this thing up. Oh, I got to get an oil pressure line. Hooks in right there and right there. Get my oil pressure hooked up. I've got my temperature gauge ran. It's run in there already. I've got my wiring right here. I'm fixing to try to figure out some of this stuff and get a place for that to go. I may make a mount right there to mount that switch box so that I can just have it right there by my hand. I know drag racers like to put them up here above their forehead up here, but that's a little cumbersome for me. It seems backwards to me because I'm used to having them right here, right on the dash, right easy access. And I may mount that box right there, right here, so that it's an easy access. As you can see here, I've got the lid off of it and the wire's kind of running it. But anyway, thinking about mounting it right here somewhere. That way I can reach it and it'll be all right there. I can reach it out the door here too. So, all right. We've got our brakes hooked up. Still got to get my clutch line ran down and tied together to my throwout bearing. Also, the last video we made, we had these. All right, they don't fit. These are too thick. I mean, my tubing is too thick for these. These are axle housing, axle seals, inner axle seals. It keeps your grease in your third member. It keeps it from running out to the outer bearings. And when you do that, you can put an extra quart or two of grease in there. And these are brand new gears. And my gear man, Jimmy Benskin at Benskin Automotive, said to put an extra quart of grease in this thing. So, because they're brand new, got new bearings and all in it, so we want to keep them lubed up well. We might have to make a 2 or 3 part video out of this one video today. I've been kind of rambling along here, but and I'll try to edit this down to where it'll fit. But I've been trying to keep it under 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, but I've already got like 17 minutes on this string of video right here. So, but all right, guys, I'm gonna get off here and we'll holler at y'all later. Let me get you turned around here if you can see me. There we are. Yeah, I still do exist, and I still do talk on the video here. But Russell here saying God bless you, and we are Outfits Garage is coming to Soxton, Missouri. All right. God bless you guys. Keep a hammer.